Back here on the Locker Room Report, I'm Brady Beedon, joined by head coach Paul Winters for the first time this season. Coach, had a full off season, had a full camp. That alone has to give you a little ease of mind going into this year.
Yeah, I know now that we'll be in shape. You know, we're ready to play a football game. We're ready to finish a football game. And I think just from a mindset, our guys have a better mindset than they had in the past.
That had to be a point of emphasis in the offseason. There were so many games you felt like going into the final couple minutes, it was a toss-up, and it just seemed like every time we ended up on the wrong side of that game. I'm assuming finishing, as you mentioned, games will be a big point of emphasis this year.
It has been all of camp. You know, we've run harder, we've worked harder, we've taken it up a notch in every way.
Camp in general, usually one of the big goals is improve and stay healthy. How have those two things gone for you this camp?
I believe we have improved, and you can see the improvement every day. And maybe it's just one thing we do better, but we're improving every day. We haven't stayed healthy. We probably have 4 surgeries scheduled already, and that's a tough thing. But for the most part, most of the guys who were here all summer have stayed in great shape and ready to go.
Let's talk about what the 2022 Warriors will look like. We'll start with the offensive line, probably the biggest unknown. You replace a ton of snaps and a ton of quality starters. What's the big men up front going to look like to start off against Slippery Rock?
Well, they probably will have real wide eyes and, wonder, am I ready for this? But I think they'll grow into it pretty well. Tyler Schompert at left tackle, he's a redshirt freshman, or actually he played a little bit, so he's a sophomore. Big, talented guy, came from a running program, but has done a very good job in the pass game. And on the right side, another sophomore who was a redshirt freshman last year, played a little bit, is Blake Buster. And Blake is a monster of a man who has grown pretty well into his body this past year, so we're very excited about him.
So the guys they'll be protecting, Josh Kroll, we saw him last year. He was early in the year. He was really starting to show what he can be before his injury took him out for the year. How has he been doing in camp, and has he learned the lesson of how to stay healthy?
He's had a really good camp. You talk about improving every day. He's improved every day. Has he learned his lesson? He's a tough kid, and he doesn't necessarily want to run out of bounds, so he may still try to run over some people.
Other guy that will run over some people, Myles Harris. He exploded onto the scene last year, and he was putting up all-time numbers. Got to feel good, once again, to have a go-to back in your backfield.
Yeah, very excited about Myron. He's worked hard. He's been here all summer, done everything he's supposed to do, and he's looking forward to this season because he wasn't able to finish last year because of a knee injury, and the last 2 games he missed. So he's excited, probably more so than he would have been.
Wide receiver might be a little bit of a question mark. Who are going to be the guys that are catching passes this year, and who do you hope to take that step and take the reins as the go-to guy out wide?
Well, you say who's going to catch the passes? Myron will catch the passes. Nick Potterack will catch the passes at tight end. But we have some young men at wide receiver that we're very excited about, and no one really knows how good they are until they go out and play. But Manny Harris is a young man who was redshirted last year, very fast. And Deion Brown is another young man who was redshirted last year, and he's also very quick and athletic. So you look at those 2 guys, I think Max Nicklin has stepped up and done a good job for us. We expect our guys to work real hard and to step into those positions. So we're very excited about them.
Defensively, you've had a lot of changeover, not only on the field but in the coaching staff, in the rooms there. First of all, how have the coaches been, and how have they adapted to kind of a new era of a Warrior defense?
Well, let's start. I'm going to go back. You're talking about those wide receivers. Derek Alexander's a new coach for us at wide receiver, and he's done a fantastic job with those guys, so that's why we're excited about him. But from a defensive standpoint, Frank Espy, Steve Gardner's only been with us a year, and then Antoine Robinson as a coordinator. Those 3 guys have really done a good job of working together. In every day, somebody one of the three is taking over the meeting and taking over the team. And I think it helps the team to respond to all three of them. So great coaches, great people, tough-minded, and, we feel like our defense is going to be the strength of our football team.
Strength of your football team, so I'm assuming sometimes in camp, maybe giving you a little fits. Who are some of the guys leading that charge, kind of stressing you out a little as an offensive coach?
Yeah, you know what? They're the front four. You start with those guys. We have three seniors, Jacob Mass, Sean Banazak, and Charles Ellington, and they have really played well. And Damon Duncan has also stepped up. He's a big, strong, really good football player at D-tackle. So the front four has been awesome. And the linebackers have been just really fast and really, you've got a two-time captain and a first-team all-league middle linebacker. You've got a graduate transfer from Eastern Michigan, and Matt Bushman. And we have some young guys that have stepped up, like Mike Smith and Blake Gillum. Two guys that, and Dante Reed, really three guys that have been in the program and have learned quite a bit. So the linebacker position and the front four really have been dominant.
Let's talk about your opponent, Slippery Rock, a team we're becoming very familiar with, having to go there for the first time. Last year, inches away from knocking them off to open the season. What do you need to do to go into Slippery Rock to get that win and maybe flip the script from a year ago?
Well, again, you talk about the strength of our team is our defense. Slippery Rock's strength, I think, is their offense. So it's strength against strength. We have to win that battle. I think from an offensive standpoint, don't turn the ball over. Just run the football the way you know you can run it, and have those receivers make some big plays. Have Josh Kroll do the things that he does really well, and find a way to finish it in the end.
Last question for you, Coach. What is the identity of the 2022 Wayne State Warriors going to be?
Physically tough. Like I said, when you talk about your defense being your strength, it's all about toughness. And I think our front four, our linebackers, even our secondary, they're all physically tough. And up front, offensively, we're very tough. So we want to be a tough football team.
Well, Coach, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. Good luck against Slippery Rock. That was the Locker Room Report with head coach Paul Winters. I'm Brady Beedon. You're listening to WDTK, The Patriot.